I'm a product of my granddad's
Welcome to Florida.
Hard working hands and a job well done. Skin as thick as railroad ties.
So we just got an update from Laurent.
What? Read it to me.
He says final touches and she will be ready. He's already moved her back into the marina, so just let him know when we're gonna get there.
Yay! I am so excited to see all the changes. I feel like it's gonna be a whole new boat.
That's the plan. We've got 3.5 hours to go before we get there.
Man enough to do what's right. His blood is in my own. The good and the bad in between.
Sitting in some delightful traffic just outside of Fort Lauderdale. We are about 30 minutes from the marina, and I just got an email notification that our invoice from Just Cats is ready, which, yay! That means our boat is done and will be ready for us when we get there. But I'm definitely not ready to open that. So that explains the traffic. But I am definitely not ready to open that invoice. I promise we will get to it by the end of the episode and we will reveal all to you guys, because we definitely splurged on some things and it's gonna make cruising a lot more enjoyable as soon as I can get over the sticker shock of what we spent. Anything to add?
No, I'm really excited. I just said no and then it started talking. Yes, I'm really excited to see what's done. I too am afraid of the invoice. I really wish there wasn't any traffic.
Moving again, traffic cleared up.
In half a mile, keep left to stay on I-95 South. In a quarter mile, keep left to stay on Florida 818 East Griffin Road.
His blood is in my own. The good and the bad in between.
Oh my gosh, there she is. She looks great. We have not been on board in 36 days, so I have no idea what the inside of the boat is gonna look like at this point, but hopefully the crew has put most of it back together. Of course, that was awkward as can be. I'm home.
So we just ran around the boat really quick, and it looks like the only thing that they weren't able to get done is we wanted to move the life raft from where it is right now, where it blocks the view to the port bow behind the helm, but it's too big. So we'll have to take care of that at some other time. As for the rest of it, I have no clue how any of this works right now, but it looks fancy, so we're gonna figure it out, and we'll be back.
All right, we might as well get started with the first thing you see when you get on the boat, which is our brand new dive racks. We have spots for 4 dive tanks here and a little area in the middle, which will be good for lashing extra jerry cans of fuel or water for when we go on long passages. Charles and I are actually in the process of getting dive certified right now, and we are so excited for the convenience that having tanks on board will bring so that we can go diving more often next year. A couple of unexpected perks is the way the dinghy hits this dive rack here. It actually kind of tilts it and angles it in a better way so that the drain for the water is more accessible. So we have a much easier way to drain water out of the dinghy at this point. And the poles that are attached to the solar arc are really handy for getting in and out of the dinghy. Sometimes it's just a little hard to get your footing there, and so one more thing to grab onto is really nice. Speaking of the solar arc, that's much more exciting than the dive compressor rack, so let's go get into it.
It brings us to really the main reason that we wanted to get a lot of work done, and that was to upgrade the electrical system. So if you haven't watched our expectations video, for quick recap, we used to have 600 amp hours of AGM batteries, and if you know anything about AGM batteries, you really can only use about half of them before they're not delivering enough charge to actually power things. So we had about 300 amp hours of usable battery storage on the boat. Now we have 900 amp hours of lithium batteries. And so with lithium batteries, basically the entire size of the battery remains usable throughout the whole charge cycle. So we went from 300 amp hours of usable battery storage to 900 amp hours of usable battery storage. The next thing we did was we had a stainless steel solar arch created over the dinghy, which one helps keep rainwater out of the dinghy, but also it holds 3 375 watt rigid LG solar panels, and those are much more energy efficient and can deliver a lot more power with the same wattage rating as the flexible ones. And finally, we upgraded our 2000 watt inverter to a 5000 watt Victron, which is a very smart inverter. It can tell the difference between the generator, it knows what's coming from the solar, it can tell if it's on shore power, and more importantly, it can really monitor the loads that are coming from a AC perspective. And so there was one more thing that we needed to do, and that was add soft starts to our air conditioners. When a air conditioner without a soft start turns on, it has a momentary massive power spike, which is going to blow out even that 5000 watt inverter. And so what a soft start does is it smooths out that spike and allows you to start your air conditioners on the inverter. Those 3 things combined, the batteries, the extra solar, and the larger inverter, have allowed us to essentially invert the entire boat. It lets us really be much more sustainable, much more off-grid, because with the solar, even on a cloudy day like it is today, we can generate 1200 watts of solar really, really easily. With that being said, it's still just a 5000 watt inverter, and we have plenty of electrical toys on the boat that will draw more than 5000 if we turn them on all at the same time. So there are 5 main things that draw power, and they all draw roughly 1500 watts. So the air conditioners, we have 2 of them. The water heaters, we have 2 of them. And then I'm lumping all of the kitchen electrics into the 5th major draw. And so we can run 3 at any given time and be perfectly fine.
And our last upgrade, which yes is a big draw on all of that power that we just installed, is the washer dryer. It was the one thing that I added to the list. Unfortunately, it did require a whole bunch of things in order to, make it work and function, like all that solar and the lithium batteries, but here nor there. It was my one request, and now it's here. Totally a luxury item. You do not need a washer dryer for cruising, but I'm happy she's here. Most people say that once they have it, they would never get rid of it, and I can easily see why. I've done a couple of test loads so far, and it is great at washing clothes, exactly what you would expect. Things go in dirty, they come out clean, voila. The dryer, not so much. Fortunately, I had heard that the drying capabilities would be pretty lackluster, and they are. But you always have the lines outside, and drying things in the sunshine is always a perfectly acceptable way to get your laundry nice and dry. So, plenty of cruisers do not have a washing machine on board. We didn't have one last year, and honestly, it wasn't that bad. This is really just here for the extra convenience. We have a little portable washer that we used last year that did break quite frequently and caused a bit of stress on my end. And then laundry mats are pretty much everywhere. We just ran into a problem where we were going into a port for only a couple of days, and then we wanted to get back out on the hook. And the days that we were there, the laundry mat was either closed or it was booked up for the day, or I can't even remember what, but there were a lot of challenges. And so I think we went like 6 weeks without being able to find a laundry mat. And that made for a lot of laundry to do by hand. I'm super happy to have it on board, even if it is a big ticket item. Speaking of which, I promised you guys an invoice review, so let's go do it.
I can feel you, Jerry! Show me the money! Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money!
As promised, we are going to share the financials with you guys. Now, I feel like I have to say it because you know it's going to happen. This is the internet. I'm providing this financial information for folks that are out there that are really curious about what this lifestyle costs. I remember when we were looking into buying a boat, we really appreciated people that put the fees and costs out there. As time has gone on, things change, prices change, things become more affordable. There's new options available. So like all the old resources that we looked at might not be available or relevant anymore. So I wanted to put new relevant information out there. That being said, I want to just assure everybody out there that this financial expenditure was approved by our financial planner. We do understand we live on a depreciating asset. We're fine. Thank you for your concern. We really appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's the preface.
Yeah, that's the preface.
Okay. Just
All right.
Get that out of the way.
So, what did this actually cost us? So the prices I'm going to list out are parts and labor, all included, just to keep it nice and simple. The entire invoice and all the details will be on the website if you're interested in that kind of thing. So
That's my part.
well, I just said it.
Okay.
The dive tank rack, again, parts, labor, installation, etc., cost us $4,300, and it looks beautiful.
It is.
I'll be perfectly honest, I don't know how that compares to what other shops might have done, but the guys at Just Cats did an awesome job. And next was the Solar Arc, and the Solar Arc price that I'm going to quote includes the solar controller, and the actual metal fabrication work, obviously, and all the installation and labor and things like that, and that came out to $16,500. Yeah. If you've ever looked into upgrading batteries, you know lithium is not cheap. Hopefully it will pay for itself. But for 300 amp hour batteries plus the controller that plugs into the new inverter and installation labor was $10,150. The inverter itself, which includes the inverter, and to be perfectly honest, something else that I'm forgetting, check the website.
Hold on. In case you're wondering why we're looking down sometimes, we do have a copy of the invoice right here. Okay, we found it.
So, it was the inverter itself plus the control panel that's sitting over there.
Which costs
$7,500 total. The soft start that I mentioned on the air conditioners were each $800, so that was a total of $1,600. And the washer dryer, which included a ton of plumbing to get all the water over there and some electricity to get that cabinet didn't have electrical or plumbing, so a good amount of installation labor there, plus the washer dryer itself was $3,600.
Yeah, so that's a lot. We also got some maintenance stuff done that we just didn't have time to take care of while we were out. We certainly did some maintenance, but as everyone knows, boats.
So with that, we're going to wrap up this video. Drop us a comment down below if you have any questions.
Give us a thumbs up if you like the video.
And as always, go ahead and subscribe if you're new here to get all of our new videos.
We will see you guys soon. Have a great week.
Done. Wasn't that bad?
No.